The cargo bay of the Viridian Dawn fell silent as Millie stepped forward, her boots echoing against the metal floor. Around her, a dozen alien crew members from 6 different species watched with a mixture of curiosity and concern. At the center of the bay sat the problem, a collapsed graviton stabilizer, its alloy core exposed and pulsing with dying light. "We need to replace the core," Captain Nexron rumbled, his forearms gesturing helplessly at the massive cylindrical component. The Carthian's exoskeleton clicked nervously, "But the crane system is offline. That core weighs 400 kilos. We'll have to wait for the repair station." Millie crouched beside the stabilizer, her fingers tracing the smooth surface of the alloy core. It was beautiful, really a perfect cylinder of compressed metals and exotic materials, gleaming dully in the bay's harsh lighting. The faint hum of residual energy vibrated through her fingertips. 400 kilos, she murmured, more to herself than anyone else. "Don't even think about it, human," hissed Skelther, the ship's Vraxian engineer, his serpentine body coiled defensively. "Your species may be reckless, but you're not superhuman. That mass will crush your skeletal structure. I've seen the scans of your bones there, hollow, porous things, fragile." Millie glanced up at him, one eyebrow raised. "Hollow, relatively speaking," Skelthar corrected, though his confidence wavered under her gaze. "Compared to proper load-bearing species, the Carthians have crystalline bone matrices. The Thorgs have metallic skeletal reinforcement. You humans have calcium deposits." "Calcium deposits," Millie repeated, a smile tugging at her lips. She stood, rolling her shoulders. "Jake, what's Earth's gravity again?" From across the bay, Jake looked up from the damaged crane control panel, wiping grease from his hands. The other human aboard the Viridian Dawn grinned broadly. 9.8 meters per second squared. "Millie, standard. And here, we're at 0.6 G right now. Ship's compensators are at 60%. Millie nodded slowly, her smile growing. She'd been on the Viridian Dawn for 3 months now, ever since signing on as a general laborer at the Proxima station. 3 months of watching aliens treat her like she was made of glass. 3 months of concerned warnings and protective protocols. "The repair station is 4 days away," Captain Nexron said. "Without the stabilizer, we can't enter hyperspace. We'll drift, we'll starve," added Pix, the small Fenari communications officer, her large eyes wider than usual. "Supplies won't last 6 days." Millie looked around at her crewmates' beings from across the galaxy, each one convinced that humans were fragile curiosities, too soft for the harshness of space. They'd seen the medical reports, studied the anatomy scans. On paper, humans looked weak, breakable. On paper. "Step back," Millie said quietly. "What are you?" Skelthar began. "Step back." Something in her tone made them obey. Even Captain Nexron, who outmassed Millie by 300 kilos, retreated several paces. Jake abandoned the crane panel entirely, moving closer with that knowing look in his eyes. Millie approached the alloy core, planting her feet shoulder-width apart. She bent at the knees, back straight, and wrapped her fingers round the recessed handles on either side of the cylinder. The metal was cool against her palms. "Your bones will shatter," Skelthar warned, his voice almost pleading now. "The core's density is enormous. Even at 0.6 G, you're attempting to lift nearly 240 kilos. Your spine will." Millie tuned him out. She focused on her breathing, on the familiar weight of Earth's gravity that she'd carried since birth. Every human aboard a ship like this was walking around at a fraction of the weight they'd trained their entire lives to support. Every step was easier. Every movement required less effort. But the body remembered. She took a breath and lifted. The alloy core rose smoothly off the deck, supported by one hand, as Millie adjusted her grip. Her other hand came up to balance it, but more out of caution than necessity. The weight was substantial, significant but manageable, like carrying a heavy piece of furniture back home, like the logs she'd hauled at her uncle's timber yard, like the sandbags during flood season. Around her, the cargo bay erupted in gasps and clicks and whistles of shock. "Impossible," Skelthar breathed. Millie turned. The core held steady and walked toward the empty stabilizer housing. Her muscles burned pleasantly with the effort, her bones held firm by a lifetime of Earth's relentless pull. 4 billion years of evolution under 1G had built humanity's skeleton to withstand forces these aliens couldn't comprehend. "Where does this go?" she asked calmly. Jake was beside her in an instant, guiding her to the housing unit. "Here, tilt it about 15 degrees. There you go." Together, they maneuvered the core into position. Millie held it steady, while Jake locked the securing clamps. When the final clamp clicked into place, she released her grip and stepped back, flexing her fingers. The silence in the cargo bay was absolute. Captain Nexron approached slowly, his four eyes blinking in sequence. You lifted ... 400 kilos. Millie finished. At 0.6 g, that's like lifting 240 back home. Heavy, but not impossible. But your bones, Skelter insisted, slithering closer to examine her, as if expecting to see fractures. The scans showed they were fragile. Jake laughed, a sound that seemed too loud in the stunned quiet. Fragile, buddy. Human bones can withstand about 1,500 pounds per square inch of pressure. Our femurs are stronger than concrete. Our skeletal structure is designed to withstand falls, impacts, and constant gravitational stress that would pulverize most species. But they're so ... light, Pix whispered. Light and strong aren't mutually exclusive, Millie explained, rolling her shoulders again. Our bones are optimized. Density where we need it. Flexibility where it matters. We evolved as endurance hunters on a heavy gravity world. Our bodies are built to take punishment. She's not even injured, Skelter said, more to himself than anyone else. Not a single fracture. Of course not, Millie said with a shrug. Though I'll probably be sore tomorrow. Jake, can you get the crane working? We need to position the backup core in storage. On it, Jake replied. Heading back to the control panel, Captain Nexron continued to stare at Millie with something approaching. 3 months, he said slowly. 3 months you've been aboard, and we've been treating you like crystal sculptures. We assigned you light duty, safe tasks, minimal strain activities. Millie grinned. I noticed. Why didn't you say something? Would you have believed me? Or would you have looked at your scans and your data, and told me I was wrong about my own species? The captain's silence was answer enough. Skelter's scales rippled with what Millie had learned to recognize as embarrassment. I apologize, Millie. We underestimated you. Your people. Most do. Jake called from across the bay. We're used to it. As the crew began to disperse, returning to their duties with new perspectives, Pix approached Millie hesitantly. If humans are this strong, why do you work as laborers? You could be soldiers, warriors. Millie smiled down at the small alien. Because strength isn't just about lifting heavy things. We came to space to build, not break, to help, not hurt. She glanced at the now functioning stabilizer, its new core humming with power, though it's nice to be useful when heavy things need lifting. Later, as the Viridian Dawn jumped back into hyperspace, on course for the trade routes, Millie stood in the observation deck with Jake, watching the stars streak past. Think they'll stop treating us like porcelain now? Jake asked. Millie chuckled. Maybe. Or maybe they'll just start asking us to move all their heavy furniture. Could be worse. Could be, Millie agreed. She flexed her fingers, remembering the weight of the core. The surprised faces of the crew. Could be a lot worse. In the end, that's what humanity brought to the stars. Not just their strength or their endurance, but the constant reminder that appearances could deceive. That fragile-looking bones could support impossible weights. That soft skin could hide a will forged in the gravity. Well of a relentless world. They'd said her bones would break. They'd been wrong.